Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. Very interesting information came out yesterday, and I want to share it with you all to see what you have to say, what you think about this. I'll share what I think because something is just a little off. Check this out. Perth Mint sees record bullion sales in 2022, but the US Mint sees a 22% drop in gold demand and a 43% drop in silver. Now, I have been showing the numbers over the past year or so. I have been talking about the Royal Mint and the Perth Mint seeing record sales. I've showed the data, but with the US Mint in particular, I think they worded this very, very carefully. I'll explain why, but I will also give some context on how this could actually be possible. Now, I wanted to get some inside information before I made this video. I wanted to hear what the stackers thought. So I posted this on Wall Street Silver, this picture, this screenshot, and I wanted to hear what they had to think about this. And they brought up some good points. This already has 3.8 thousand views and 19 comments. Now, this is a really good point. Demand is not down, their production is down. Low demand does not cause 50% plus premiums for American Eagles. However, the US Mint must produce enough gold and silver to keep up with demand for it. Since they have not been doing that, they must claim that demand is down so they are not in violation of the Mint charter. Now, that's a good point. It has actually 43 upvotes. And I'm glad that people are on the boat of this. And this is actually what I had to say. I gave some context. Now, to give more context, yes, they worded this very carefully. A lot of factors do come into play of what the real numbers are and the reasoning. For example, the US Mint a few months ago cut off the public from buying directly from them. Only 12, 13 authorized dealers can buy directly from them now. And this is directly, and we know this for sure. I mean, Miles Franklin, Andy Schectman's the CEO. And when this news broke a couple months ago, I asked him and he said, yes, he is still actually one of the few authorized dealers. And also with recent limited mintages of the 2022 Eagles, of course, they won't have sold as many as previous years because they put a huge mintage cap on them because the lack of silver planches they have. Plus, people are finding cheaper alternatives to insane premiums. But I think the main reason is that they banned everyone from buying directly from them now, and everyone has to go through a middleman, like Miles Franklin or Apmex. You can't just buy from the US Mint. I think that is the main reason we see this, but I do think they also worded this very carefully because, of course, if they're not going to produce 15 million Eagles this year, then they're not going to have as many sales as they would as if they did mint 15 million. So regardless, this is interesting information. We've known, or at least anyone who watches my channel has known, that the Royal Mint and the Perth Mint have been seeing record-breaking sales, way more than the US Mint. And my theory back then, before they banned everyone from buying publicly from them, was because of the premiums. People are turning their backs on the most beloved coin. See, the US Mint has been, we're talking about the most popular bullion coin ever. 30, 40 million minted per year. It really didn't start till 2019 when they went from 20 or so million down to, 13 million it was a year or two ago. That's bad, and they couldn't even fill that type of demand. That's very bad, and that's why you've been seeing the mintage caps over the last couple of years, and they even banned the 2022 Morgan and silver piece dollars for this reason alone. So let's go over this article titled Perth Mint sees record bullion sales in 2022. US Mint sees 22% drop in gold demand and 43% drop in silver. We are also on the road to 100,000 subscribers, so as we approach that number, as a token of my appreciation, I'm going to be doing some massive giveaways. I'm talking about the biggest giveaways I've ever done on this channel. Tubes of sealed Eagles, full 1-ounce gold coins are going to be given away. I'll be announcing the first giveaway very soon, so if you want a chance to win some silver or gold shipped straight to your front doorstep, click subscribe and stay tuned as we announce some of these giveaways, and may the luckiest stackers win. So, 2022 is a tale of two mints. with the U.S. Mint seeing disappointing gold and silver bullion demand for the year. Meanwhile, it was one of the best times for Perth Mint as it saw record sales for its silver and gold bullion products. And it says read more on Kitco. So I'm going to try to find this Kitco article because I want to see more context. I want to see if they just kind of worded this as clickbaity, kind of, misleading context. Because I have, and if you watch my channel, I have been paying very close attention to the numbers. I know for a fact Perth Mint and Royal Mint have been setting record-breaking sales since the beginning of the year. Also, though, the U.S. Mint sold 5 million Eagles the first month of January alone. That's also a fact. So to set to set that standard the first month of January, of course their sales are going to drop over the next couple of months because that's an insane number to try to compete with. So yeah, you could compare January to July and say, yeah, the percentage dropped dramatically, but that's because they started off with such a high bar. And it does make sense on why they had to cut back the amount or even ban the public, because they mint around 13 million Eagles per year, and if they already sold 5 million the first month of January, then they're going to see another situation happening of 2020 when they literally ran out of silver and had to make that emergency 1 million mintage supply from the San Francisco Mint at the end of the year, right? The U.S. Mint situation is completely in shambles. It's a mess. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of confusing situations happening, a lot of legal activity, a lot of regulations they're in violation of because they can't keep up. But we do know one thing, though, and this is for certain, that the Perth Mint and the Royal Mint are extremely popular between stackers right now. I mean, people love Britannias, people love Maples, even generics, because of premiums. And the U.S. Mint's sales have fallen off. I remember checking the June's numbers between the three mints, and it was crazy. Now, this is the original article that this one we just covered is referring to, but I also found another one that was posted November 10th, 2022, as this one was just written yesterday. I want to compare and contrast the numbers. I want to see what's going on, and let's try to break this down. If you like the video, please like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Analysts noted that the Federal Reserve's aggressive monetary policy, as it raised interest rates by 425 basis points last year, dampened interest for precious metal bullion in the United States. However, the U.S. Mint was also plagued by production and supply issues through the year. The U.S. Mint stopped the 2022 production in November to focus on 2023 coins and sold only 4,000 ounces in various denominations of its American Eagle gold coins last month. At the same time, it sold 59,000 1-ounce American Eagle silver coins in December. Sales data from the U.S. Mint shows that it sold 980,000 ounces of gold last year, down nearly 22% from 2021, which saw sales hit a 12-year high. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint sold 15.96 million ounces of silver last year, down 43% from 2021 levels. Although gold and silver saw lackluster investor interest, the U.S. Mint was still unable to keep up with demand as premiums for silver coins soared to record levels, rising to more than 100% of the coin's value. The lack of demand is not outstripping the lack of supply, and that is why we are seeing these higher premiums. Low supply, high demand pushes the price up. Spot price is still manipulated, but you can't manipulate the premiums, and that's because we're talking about something that's a physical coin, a physical asset. It has intrinsic value within itself. Imagine what the sales numbers and premiums would look like if the U.S. Mint didn't have supply constraints. In October, analysts speaking at the LBMA, London Bullion Market Association's annual precious metal conference, warned investors that premiums on gold and silver bullion products will remain elevated as global demand continues to grow amid an unprecedented flow of the precious metal from the west to the east. Although U.S. investors weren't interested in silver last year, a record amount of the precious metal flowed into India. It is estimated that India imported more than 8,000 tons of silver last year. And yeah, Indian demand is through the roof. We already know some of the reasons Why? I mean, Andy Schectman's talked about this plenty of times. I'm sure you've heard him talk about the BRICS nations, Russia, India, China, all these countries that are working on building a digital currency backed by physical commodities are, of course, going to be, sweeping up all the gold and silver off the shelves. According to some analysts, Perth Mint sales have been a better gauge of global bullion demand as it saw record for both gold and silver. This is the second consecutive year that the Mint has reported record bullion sales. In a comment made by the start of the year, Neil Vance, general manager of Minted Products, said that he was expecting to see a strong year for physical gold and silver, and he wasn't disappointed. According to revised data provided by the Perth Mint, the year started with silver sales hitting record levels above 2 million ounces, and this is when the U.S. Mint sold 5 million ounces the first month of January. By April, demand for gold and silver bullion was twice its long-run averages, Perth Mint said. There was demand for everything we could make during March, said Vance in April. In September, Perth Mint said its silver coin output rose to its highest level in 7 years. In total, Perth Mint sold 1.11 million ounces of gold last year, up 6.3% from 2021. Data shows the Mint sold more than 23 million ounces of silver in 2022, a jump of more than 21% from more than 19 million ounces sold the previous year. The Perth Mint noted that it saw solid demand out of Europe for its bullion products as consumer hedged against inflation, which rose to a 40-year high and unprecedented uncertainty following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Perth Mint recorded an exceptional level of demand for its products in 2022, and we are optimistic for another strong year of sales in 2023, led by our Australian kangaroo gold, silver, platinum bullion coins, which will be released on the 23rd of January. And yeah, I mean, people love kangaroos, people love Britannias coming from the Royal Mint, people love maples, people are definitely buying coins that would have been American silver eagles. Now, I'm pulling up the sales of eagles from January until June of 2022. Now, let's compare and contrast. Like I said, they sold 5 million eagles the first month of January. So, of course, their sales are going to drop because they had set such a high bar in the month of January. Of course, they're not going to keep up with 5 million ounces. Remember, they only minted around 13 million ounces a couple years before. So that would mean within 2-3 months, they would have sold all 13 million that they produced in 3 months, but they're already having an even harder time keeping up with demand, and that's why they're putting mintage caps. So let's look at this. January, they sold 5 million ounces. February, 1.5 million. March, 1,080,000. April, 850,000. May, 1.35 million. And June, 925,000. So those are the numbers. Now, if you compare Perth Mint, you could see that, yeah, Perth Mint is definitely stronger than the U.S. Mint, but you have to remember that it's also a little tweaked, a little misleading since they set such a high bar in January where these other mints were nowhere near that. So let's go over this article right here where it talks about the U.S. Mint bullion sales pickup in October 2022. The U.S. Mint recorded stronger sales in October for their suit of bullion products, American Gold Eagles, American Silver Eagles, and American Gold Buffaloes. Year-to-date levels from American Eagles, however, are trailing those from last year. American Gold Bullion coins advanced 62,500 ounces in October, rising 25% from 50,000 in September, while falling 59.2% from 153 ounces in October 2021. American Gold Eagle sales for the year to date at 970,000 ounces are 9.8% lower than the 1,075,500 ounces sold during the same period last year. American Eagle silver bullion sales rose by 1,258,000 ounces, marking increases of 51%, from 833,000 ounces in the prior month at 16.9% from 1,076,000 ounces in October of last year. 2022 American Silver Eagle sales at 14,497,500 ounces are 45.8% lower than the 26,751,500 ounces sold during the leading 10 months of 2021. I'm not going to go over the gold bullion sales. Let's look at, let's not look at platinum. So yeah, there's the breakdown of these. So, I mean, I'm curious what you all think. I'm curious what you think about this. And the main reason this is interesting is moving forwards, the year 2023. Now, this is January 2023. So remember last year, exactly a year ago, January 2022, the U.S. Mint sold 5 million Eagles the first month. I'm curious what those numbers are going to look like in January of this year. We're about halfway through, little less than halfway through the month. So I'm curious to see what those numbers are going to look like, especially moving forwards. I'm also curious to see what the Perth Mint's numbers are going to look like. I should actually try to find the video because I made a complete, I think it was like a 3 video little series of Perth Mint, Royal Mint, and the U.S. Mint. This was, I think, 4 months ago, and I compared every single month in sales, the data, and this was when the Perth Mint came out and the Royal Mint came out and shared their sales because they were extremely excited about this, and this was right when the U.S. Mint was in such hot water. So I'm not surprised that this data came out. I just think it's a little misleading, but I do have to throw in the context that a couple months ago the U.S. Mint banned everyone from publicly buying or directly through them. You cannot buy directly through the U.S. Mint anymore. So that probably has a huge dent in their sales, since only about 13 or 14 authorized dealers can buy through them. Everyone else has to go through the middleman. Miles Franklin is one of those authorized dealers. If you want to purchase through them, I highly recommend it. Send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know I sent you. Andy Sheckman's the CEO. You've probably seen him on my channel or on Wall Street Silver or Robert Kiyosaki's channel. Probably seen him somewhere, but he's the CEO, and he can still buy through them. And if you watch my show weekly with Andy, he's given some insight about this. He's given some good insight about this since he still has a hand in the door with the U.S. Mint. So that definitely has to play some type of factor in this. I could actually bring this article up to Andy in our show that we'll be having in a couple of days and ask what he thinks about it, since he also, he has a lot of, resources. He has a lot of insider knowledge that us from the outside don't have. I think that's one of the coolest reasons why I can bring him on my channel on a weekly basis. So yeah, I'm curious what you guys think. Throw in your 2 cents in the comment section. If you like this video, then please like the video. Commenting, liking, sharing, that all really helps. Engagement really helps watching the videos all the way through. So if you're still hearing me talk right now, thank you for not clicking off within the first 2 minutes. It means a lot. Stay tuned because I got some massive giveaways coming up, and you're not going to want to miss them. I promise you that. But most importantly, subscribe because I post daily videos. This year, my goal is to post a video every single day, 365 videos in 365 days. If I miss a day posting, then I'll post 2 videos the next day to make up for it. So that's my goal, and so far I'm sticking to it. So if you want the newest, latest, freshest, most up-to-date recent information in the world of precious metals, more specifically silver, make sure you subscribe for your sake, not mine, right? You guys got to keep up with this stuff. You can't be blindly investing. That's not investing, that's gambling, right? That's gambling. So yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in. Link to this article will be in the description. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.